In this video, I'm going to help you guys get better at practicing your in-game mechanics in Critical Ops. We will be identifying the mechanics you need to practice and ways you can practice them. I'll also be showing you guys how to set up different practice rooms so you can get practicing as soon as possible. So if you like this kind of content, are new to the channel, or you find yourself here more often, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Or if you're already subbed, then go ahead and hit that like button to show your support for this kind of content. It's completely free and it helps out the channel a ton. And without further ado, let's hop into the ultimate practice guide. What's up, guys? It's your boy Stump. And one question that I always get from you guys all the time is, hey Stump, how do I get better at Critical Ops? And the one thing that I've always told you guys is to practice, practice, practice. But I feel like it's not fair on my part to just tell you guys to go practice without actually telling you how to practice in the first place. So what does it mean to practice? Well, it's like practicing shooting your free throws or lifting heavy weights. The only way to make more shots or lift heavier weights is to do it over and over again through repetition. So in Critical Ops, the only way you can get better at your mechanics is to do them over and over again through repetition. And the best way to do that is through a custom lobby or a practice match. So we're in the game right now and I'm going to be showing you guys how to set up your practice rooms. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to play. You're going to select custom games and you're going to go to host. And now I have all my settings set to default so that way you know exactly how to set your own rooms up. So what you're going to do is you're going to set your game mode to diffuse. And then you're going to set a password so that way you don't have any random people joining your game unannounced. So if you see Stump Daddy's room on the custom games list, you know exactly what I'm doing in there. All right, now into your actual settings, you're going to make sure that the Breach Max players are set to 1, as well as the Coalition Max players. Now, the round time, you're also going to need to set to its maximum setting of 30 minutes. Freeze time, you're going to need to turn that off, because that is the freeze time before each round starts, and you don't want that when you're getting ready to start your practice session. Rounds to win doesn't really matter. Start money, if you want to buy the weapons you want in the store, that's fine. Or you can have special commands enabled, which is right here. You can have that enabled to get your weapons wherever you want. Now, enable cross-team chat and auto balance doesn't really matter. Infinite buy time, however, if you are using the money, is good to have turned on always. Health doesn't matter. Allowed weapons, you want to make sure they are all selected for both sides. And starting armors doesn't really matter. Next, you need to select your map. Depending on what you want to practice, whether it be recoil patterns or grenade throws, you're going to want to select the map you want to play on. So if you are going to be practicing your recoil, then I would suggest, personally, my opinion, you go to Bureau, because there are a lot of blank walls for you to shoot at. But if you are going to practice your grenade throws, then you're going to want to select the map you want to practice on. Let's say you need to practice on Grounded, you would select Grounded. If you need to practice on Port, you select Port. Sword, you select Sword, Village, and so on. So that is how you set up your practice map. Now there is an actual practice mode, and I'm gonna set this to default so that you guys can see how to set it up. All right, so what you want to do is in this practice mode, you're only going to want to hit one taps or headshots. So make sure you have your bots set to easy, not extreme. That is a mistake I made once. All right, and you want your enemy bot count to be anywhere between 5 and 8 bots. So I have it set to 6 because that's the best setting that I find for myself. Then you're going to want to set the round time to 10 minutes. So that way you have a bit of a 10-minute warm-up when you're getting ready to play for the day. Now respawn time, you're going to want to set to 1 second. And enforced respawn time set to like 5 seconds, doesn't matter. Spawn protection doesn't really matter. Spawn systems, I would set that to team based, so that way each of the bots spawns in their exact location where they need to be. Now the best map for practice mode is Gallery, because it is a small map. It's got a lot of different angles for you to hit through, and you can also get more shots in rather than a bigger map like Division or Brewery or Cargo. So if you need to practice your headshots or you need to warm up with headshots, this is the way to go. So why then do we need to have these custom rooms? Well, for one thing, it gives you an enclosed space for you to practice by yourself without any distractions. It also gives you the opportunity to experiment with anything that you think will give you an advantage. like finding all the wallbang spots or the best camping spots on a certain map. So now that we have everything that we need for our practice session, we can now ask the question of, what should I be practicing? Well, the first thing you need to be doing is looking at what you're struggling with the most. Now, I'm not a perfect player by any means. I mean, the highest rank I've ever gotten was a Master 1, and that was after practicing on an aim trainer for like a month. So what I have here is recorded gameplay of my most recent public diffuse match. I tried doing a ranked match, but it was taking too long to queue up, so we got this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch this replay and take any note of any mistakes that would cause me to be eliminated or to lose the round. So the first thing you need to do is record your gameplay and watch that replay to see what mistakes you are making. And we're going to do that right here live in this video. Alright. So here's the thing. I am not necessarily the best with the MR96 because I can't hit those one-tap headshots like those Special Ops and Elite Ops players can. I'm still working on that. So I try and hit this guy, can't hit him. I think they're trying to charge me, but I mistake it. I get a hit on him, and they both peek at me at the same time, and I go down. So the mistake I made there was picking up the MR96 instead of keeping the XD45 because it does have a faster fire rate than the Deagle, although the Deagle does have a higher damage rate. So both players using Deagles against one player with an XD45, that's not a good idea. I charged in there when I shouldn't have. I should have let them have that bomb plant. I should have retreated all the way. And that was my first mistake of that round. All right, next. All right, so it's right around here that I realized that, oh, the team's already on the other side. I look back towards spawn. That's a mistake because they're already out towards mid and B long, those stairs over there. And then when I turn, I get surprised by this guy coming around the corner with a vector, and then I do the new move of shotgun and jumping away from him, and I still take the fall from taking damage from my arm. And I thought it was because of lag. It wasn't. It was because I was still exposed enough for him to actually finish me off. So that's a mistake that I made. I wasn't paying attention to where the other players were at, and I was looking in the wrong places when I should have been focused on where I know the players are at. All right, so there is a guy coming around back here. He goes up. I end up not getting him, but the guy behind me actually comes charging at me with two of his buddies. I still take them all down by myself. There's two guys left. It's a 1v2. I decided to pick up the HK, and unfortunately, that was my demise. You can see the moment of realization. Oh, wait, I shouldn't have picked up the HK. There's the guy coming around me with his weapon drawn, ready to fire. And he hits a headshot while running. Lucky shot. And then he pushes the smoke, which was stupid. And I try to pick up the AK, it doesn't work out. Still get him. I get bombarded from all sides here. That's another thing too. I try to keep picking up weapons that I don't need, like the MR96 in the first round. I didn't need the MR96. The AK-47 here, I didn't need that because I have the HK. So my current problem right now that I'm struggling with the most is picking up weapons that I don't need. So I gotta think about what I'm trying to pick up. Do I really need it? Am I already good with what I got? And stuff like that. So that's something that I need to work on. And watch this nade here. Yeah, that's what you get, but doesn't get any better than that. Taking him out. And we get the round. I mean, it doesn't have to be something that causes you to die or lose the round. It could be something that you notice that ends up making you look like a complete idiot, like I just did there. So it's good to keep those things in mind too. Another mistake I see here, I only have a helmet. Did not realize that. And here they come. There's one. And, okay. The problem there, I didn't have my crosshair locked on him like I should have. Like, I should have had my crosshair, like, right over here, getting ready to shoot at him. I would have had some hits on him, continuing this way, and he would have been dead in, like, 3 shots. Alright. Something that I should never do on the second round of a team swap is buy an AR on the second round, because that not only just wastes money, but it also gives your opponent an opportunity to actually pick up your weapon if you do go down. So that's a mistake that I made. I made a AR purchase when I shouldn't have. I should have bought like an SMG. Okay, so the smoke grenade didn't hit right, so you can see right in here the smoke grenade doesn't get this area, and unfortunately that's where the guy peeks out. He's got the HK, I did not realize it. Starts shooting at me, and he takes me out. So that was a bad smoke grenade throw on my part. It's something I know I could work on. Alright, here's something that I noticed while I was watching this. When I'm running through here, I don't notice the guy that pops up the radar right there. I don't make note of him until now, when he starts shooting at me. I should have known he was there, so I would have been able to turn and see him there. Now, this next part is just an awesome play on my part because I end up getting good shots on him eventually. There's a couple of shots there. Hits me with a nade. I try to get ready to peek him here, but I just hide behind this thing. And as he's walking up, waiting for me, I pop out, taken by surprise. I mean, that was just an all-around good play. So even though we still won this game, there were still some mistakes that I made personally that ended up losing the round. And it was a close game, too. Even though, like, half the players left the lobby, but still. And some of the problems that I noticed, or the mistakes that I made, were not even mechanical problems. They were just thinking problems. Like, I wasn't thinking about what I was doing. There's some things that you can work on in the game, but there are also things that you need to work on outside of the game, like mindsets. A tip that I could give you is if there are multiple occurrences of the same mistake, then that is the very first thing you need to get better at. And after you have watched a replay, it is time to go through your list of mistakes that you made to see which ones you can work on. Now, this is the part of the video where I show you guys some general tips on how to practice some common mechanics, starting with recoil control. And all you need is a big empty wall and the gun you want to get good with, like the M4, for example. First thing you need to do is you need to shoot to see where the bullets go, like this. And you want to do this a couple of times just so that way you know you have it down. Right, left, left. Alright. And now the next thing you need to do is you need to pull your gun or your crosshair in the opposite direction. So if it goes up, you need to pull down, and if it moves to the left, you move it to the right. Alright, not bad. Now the goal is to keep all of your bullets in the smallest area as possible. You're not going to have them all line up one at a time like this every single time because of the gun's spread. Now the next thing that is common to practice is your grenade throws. More specifically, your flashbangs and your smoke grenades. Now if I'm throwing a smoke grenade, I don't want them to go off in areas that players are going to be camping the most at. And if I'm throwing a flashbang, I don't want them to go off in areas where the enemy team is going to meet up at the same time. And for flashbangs, it's fairly simple. Just find the choke point that you want to have flashed and aim towards the bottom of the wall. Flash out! So that way when they go off, they hit the wall, then the ground, which counts as 2 bounces, and it goes off quicker. Right there. And for smoke grenades, I typically take the bomb when I'm on the breach and set it in an area where I want to smoke off, like this hard scoping spot that is on A site on Village. Now typically you want to throw your smoke grenades behind cover because they take time to go off. So you're going to want to find a spot outside of the area you want to smoke off, and you want to try and find a good throw that you can hit consistently. And the one that I found for that spot on A site is right here. Throw yourself in between this bench here. Look up to this blue shade right here on this window. Look up towards the corner of this building and do a running jump throw. And as you can see, it lands exactly where I want it to go. So once you find that lineup, keep practicing it because that's what's going to get you the most consistency. And this is what all those pro players and the tips and tricks YouTubers are doing to find these different grenade throws. Now you could do this, or you could look up some of the already established smoke throws that you are wanting to learn or work on. You may need to experiment with some of the already established smokes, as some of them will only work for the outdated smoke textures. Now, how long should I be practicing, you're probably asking? I would suggest no more than 30 to 45 minutes every day with a minimum of 5 minutes for each mechanic you wish to work on. Now, keep in mind that this isn't going to make you better overnight, nor into the next week. Sure, you will see improvement at the start, but that improvement will fall off if you don't do it every day. I myself am a living testimony to this, for I have been on and off criticalops for the past 2 weeks or so, as in my last video you've probably already seen. I am currently in the process of purchasing and getting ready to move into a new house. So some of the stress from this important moment in my life has been keeping me from working on YouTube and practicing in critical ops. So the most important tip that I could give you guys in anything else is to keep your priorities straight. There are many things in our lives that need to come first before we can do anything else. And if you can make it through that, then you can make it through anything. So now that you know how to practice and what to practice, it is time to implement it into your gameplay. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all learned something today. And if you made it this far, you might as well just subscribe to the channel, or if you're already subbed, then go ahead and leave a like to show your support. If you want to see some more content, then click the links in the description and to head over to my social media pages and give them a look. And as always, stay safe. Bye-bye.